equal to 1. Okay, so all that you do is you take, either if I give you a demand curve or if I give you a table, just look at a quantity, calculate the percentage change in a quantity. Quantity will decrease if price increases. Right. Let's take another example. Let's, for instance, you put a product on sale and you drop the price from 9 Rand to 4.50 Rand.
Sorry.
50% discount.
Hello?
That's a 50% discount on price. Right. So that's underneath the line. It's 50. On top, you realize that your amount of goods that you've sold have increased from 200 to 400 because of the sale. So now your percentage increase is 100%. So you get 100 over 50, and that is skewed. That's price elastic. It means that this will be normal. Normally it would be luxury goods, or let's say goods that people don't spend a lot of their money on, like television sets, etc. When there is a drop in the price, the quantity that people normally then bought exceeds the changes in the price. In our case, the price decrease was 50%, but they sold 100% more. That's why it's skewed. So if you look at the revenue, you will see that 400 times 450 is far more than 200 times 9. So the revenue will increase. So if price elasticity is bigger than 1, revenue always will increase with the same. If you decrease your price, the opposite is also true. If you increase your price, the sales will drop percentage-wise more. Right. So that is price elastic. Price inelastic, the opposite will happen. You will see that there's an increase in the price by 30%, but the quantity increase is only 10%, something like bread. So that will give us a price elasticity of 3 on top and let's say 10 underneath the line. That will only be a third, or 0.3333. That's smaller than 1. So that is the basic argument of that chapter. The responsiveness of quantity demand if price increase or decrease. The same with supply. Supply is exactly the same. But normally we only concentrate on demand. But supply, the formula looks exactly the same. Right. So that's the idea. Right. But now you get, of course, two other elastic coefficients as well. That is your cross elasticity and your income elasticity. Right. So every time you work on the quantity that you're going to sell versus either the income or changing income or the change in the prices of other products. Now that's why if you look at your income elasticity, you will say, okay, how many TVs will I sell more if people's income increase? Right. So underneath the line, you have the change in the change in income, and on top, I will have the change in the quantity that I'm going to sell. Now it is quite clear that if people's income increases, they will buy more clothes, they will buy more television sets, they will buy more hi-fis, they will buy more household products, not necessarily food. But so then it's quite clear, if the income increases by 5% and the quantity demand for TVs increases by 1%, you will have 1/5, and at 0.2, it's still positive. As long as that coefficient is positive, it's what we call a normal product. In other words, if income increases, people will buy more of that product. That's a normal product. But in a lot of instances, especially necessities like bread, if you suddenly get a a raise of 7% after tax. After tax. Let's say after tax 5%. That was the average of South Africa last year. No, it was 7%. Can you believe it? I don't know if it happened to you guys. It didn't happen to me. But the average increase after tax last year in South Africa, increase in disposable income was 7%. Okay, but let's say it's 5%. Now you've got after tax an increase in 5% of your income. That's underneath the line. Right? You're not going to buy more bread. The consumption of bread will not increase, or it will increase not by 5%. But maybe normally you bought brown bread, now you're going to buy white bread and you eat more bread. It may happen. But that percentage increase may be only about 1%. So then you will get 1%, or it will not increase at all. So if that doesn't increase at all, then it is smaller, and then it will be a necessity product. So that is income elasticity. On cross elasticity, what will happen with the price of golf balls if the quantity of golf balls if the price for playing golf decreases? In other words, it's the quantity of your product divided by the quantity of the other, by the price of the other product. So if it is so that the price of playing golf or the price of playing squash at clubs decrease, that's underneath the line, then the quantity for squash balls or golf balls will increase above the line. Then if they move in the same direction, they are complements of each other. Right, so there's an increase in the quantity demand of golf balls. Why? Because the price of playing golf has decreased. Right, so they're in the opposite. Sorry, when they're in the opposite movement, they are complements. Right, price of the one decreases, and it will lead to the increase in the quantity demand of the other one. Right, when they move in the same direction, they are substitutes. Right. So when the price of playing golf increase underneath the line, it's an increase, right? Then the price then the quantity of golf balls that people are going to buy will decrease. It's in the opposite direction. Then they are substitutes of each other. So it's complements and substitutes. All that I want from this exercise, and all that I want from this that you have to work out, I gave a table, and in that table you have prices that change, and then from there on you have to work out before the income and after the income, the cross elasticity of the bond. The income elasticity of the bond. The cross elasticity of the bond determines whether products are complements or substitutes. Right. So that is basically all in the chapter of elasticity. Right. Any questions?
Yeah, Dr. Chris, sorry. Is the income always below the line and quantity always above the line?
Yes. Remember, quantity of the product is always above the line. The quantity demand is always above the line. In the product that you're working with. Right. So the demand elasticity is quantity divided by changing price. Income is quantity divided by the changing income. Cross elasticity is the amount of quantity divided by the price of the other product underneath. Right. So you always look at what's the response of the quantity of your product when number one, either the price change, or people's income change, or prices of other products change. Okay. So you can see from that, basically the formula stays the same. It is just what changed underneath the line. Okay. So that's basically it. So you just have to sort out what must I calculate. Must I calculate income elasticity, cross elasticity, or demand elasticity? And then it's just the thing that changed underneath the line. Okay. I think if you look at the formula, that's exactly how it is. Okay, but that still is not that difficult. I think what students will maybe have a problem is in chapter 5, demand. Right, that's the other questions. Right. Now I want all of you to take a notebook and write down the following equation. Right. It's marginal utility of A, right, divided by the price of A equals, and I'm going to show it to you on the screen, marginal utility of B over the price of B. Right. If you can see it, just like it. It won't. Come out the other way around. Okay. Now, marginal utility is MU of any product. Marginal utility of A divided by its price equals marginal utility of a second product, B, over each price, the price of B. Why is that important? That is consumer equilibrium. That is consumer equilibrium. Why? If people consume more and more and more of a product, right? Let's say, for instance, you come to a restaurant and you decide you're going to order a hamburger, right? You're very hungry, right? So your utility out of eating that hamburger is 100, divided by the price of a hamburger of 10 rand. Right. The first hamburger that you do, your utility is 100. We can measure it. In other words, we assume that we can measure level of need satisfaction. So that hamburger will cost me 100 rand. The utility, the extra utility, the level of satisfaction I get from eating that first hamburger is 100. The price is 10. The marginal utility over price will give me exactly 10. 100 divided by 10. Right. When I'm eating the second hamburger, right, I'm not so hungry anymore. The second hamburger utility only would be 150 on total utility, and the marginal utility, the extra utility from the second hamburger, is only 50. The marginal utility is the change in your total utility. You're still hungry, right? You still want to eat something. So you eat a second hamburger, but the second hamburger, you're not that hungry anymore. So your total utility now will increase from 100 to 150. The marginal is the change in that utility, and that is 50. The price is still 10 rand. So now marginal utility over the price is not 10 anymore, it is 5 now. So as you eat more and more, your marginal utility divided by your price will become less and less, and it may even become negative. Right. So what you will do, every time you come to a restaurant, but don't take beer, right? Because it seems that a lot of people's marginal utility for beer is just increasing, right? Especially when you're a full-time student. Right. But what you will do, if you at that restaurant, you're going to eat a hamburger, but you're also going to drink, let's say, a Coke. The Coke also will have a marginal utility divided by its price. It also will have a total utility. You know what you're going to do? You're going to look at your budget and say, right, I have 50 rand to spend, and in that 50 rand, I'm going to divide that into hamburgers and Coke up to that point where that marginal utility of a hamburger divided by the price of a hamburger equals the marginal utility divided by the price of the Coke. So in a table that I will give you in this question, in the table you get total utility. In fact, I think I gave you marginal utility. You get total utility and marginal utility. All I have to do is equate marginal utility of the one product divided by its price equal to the marginal utility over the price of the second product. And when that is equal to your total budget, That will be your demand for one product and a demand for another product. Okay, so that's basically the whole chapter 5 is about margin utility and price, because it is about consumer behavior, it's about competitive advantage, and it's about opportunity cost. Like I said in class, it's about opportunity cost. If you buy the third hamburger, you're not hungry anymore, then the opportunity of that hamburger is becoming to get smaller and smaller. The opportunity cost of eating another hamburger will start to decrease. So we just express it in utility. So the whole idea is always write down the formula. Margin utility of product A divided by the price of A is equal to the margin utility of B over the price of B. We may have 3 products, and that must be equal to the margin utility of C divided by the price of C. So in all these models and in all these questions and problems that the authors of the books are asking, they always will give you a table, and then you have to get equilibrium point. And what they will then do is that they will change. They either change the price, they either change the income, they either change the utility. And all that you do every time, you look at your margin utility divided by the price of a product equals margin utility divided by the price of the other product. Then you get equilibrium, and then you can see how many products will this consumer buy, giving the price of each of the products. Okay. Now, once you have two prices and two quantities, you can draw the curve. Right? You just plot it, you get the slope, and you can draw the curve. That's basically the chapter. That's basically the chapter 5. So I just explained that to you, that in the first chapter, please know the difference between price elasticity, income elasticity, and cross elasticity. And in the second chapter, know equilibrium, right? Utility. Now that utility you can draw, of course, as a straight line if you like, but it's normally not so, because your margin utility will decrease. As you buy more and more of a product, it will decrease. Right. Let me give you an example. Black Friday, there was a huge sale of the new generation HD TVs. And let's say the 80-inch screen. Right. Now people flock to the shops to buy the 80-inch screen TV. Right. Now you buy one and you go home. Now you have one. You're not going tomorrow back and buy a second one if you only need one in your home. Right? Maybe you need one or two TVs. And even if you're going to buy the second TV the next day, your utility, your level of satisfaction will be lower than the first TV that you buy. Right? So if you're not thinking rich, if you can buy your first, let's say a Volkswagen a Polo, you need it and you have the car, you're not going to next day and buy a second one because you're satisfied. Right. Your margin utility of the second Polo would basically be 0 because you don't need a second one. So that's how consumers behave. Number one, they will take their budget. They will say, okay, what product do I need the most? Which product's opportunity cost is the highest? Because your opportunity cost is the one that you forgot. Right, so if I need a new smartphone and I need that very urgently, right, the utility of that smartphone would be high. My opportunity cost of not buying that smartphone also would be high. So I will buy those products with the highest opportunity cost and the highest margin utility. So that's the idea of that whole chapter. Okay. So any other questions, please, people?
Hi, Dr. Chris, Janine speaking.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going through the calculations in terms of the price elasticity of demand and supply. I'm just struggling to get to how do you get to the slope of the price elasticity of supply? because I'm doing the different equations in the handbook and I don't get to the same slope. So maybe if you can just assist me. The slope on the demand, that's
Yes.
fine. I understand that. That's P over Q, your highest P over highest Q. But when you get to supply, yeah, I don't understand that. Maybe if you can just assist me.
Look, supply should be the same. You just draw the curve and it's a positive. It's a positive slope. Okay, for the start.
Yeah.
It's a positive slope. In
For
other words,
supply.
there you also work, what is the change? What is the change in the price over the change in the quantity? The quantity will increase if price increase. You move in the same direction.
Yeah.
Right? So in other words, if price increase by 10%, right? And
Yeah.
the quantity that you sell now, remember you're a seller, right? So let's forget about 10%. We draw a curve, right? And if the change in the price is 10, right? And the change in the quantity is 20, then the slope is 2 over 1. Right?
Okay.
Quantity over price. Quantity over price. Right?
Okay.
That's the slope. That's the slope. But that slope is a positive value.
Okay.
Because if price increases, quantity also will increase.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just take what's the change in the quantity over the change in the price. And that's the slope. But they are positive. They are working in the same direction. Right. So it should be exactly the same as the demand, but the only difference, is in the demand, if price increases, quantity demand will decrease. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why we say in the elasticity coefficient, you ignore the minus sign. Okay. But that's for demand. But in supply, there isn't a minus sign because in supply, everything is working in the same direction. So if if price increases, people will sell more. If I am a producer, the price of my product increase. The quantity that I will supply on the market will also increase because I can make higher profits. Right.
Okay.
So they are working in the same direction, but it's always right. The change in quantity over the change in price. That's the slope.
Okay.
That's
so
the slope.
I understand. Yeah, I understand you're saying that, but if I look at page 110 in the handbook and I look at figure 4.14, I don't know if you've got that in front of you, Doctor.
I can. If I don't have it, unfortunately, I didn't brought my book. I had to drive instantly from my home to my office because.
Okay. Well, I can just quickly, the price, it's
yes.
the price, it's 8 for, there's 2 points. There's an A and a B point.
Yes.
So
yes.
is the price is 8 and the quantity is 2. Okay.
Yes,
and for B, the price is 10 and the quantity is 3. Right. So they say the slope of the supply curve is 2. So the reciprocal of this slope is 1 over 2.
Now, like I say, what was the change in your quantity?
So my change in my quantity was 1, yeah.
Change in my price? 2.
2.
2 over 1?
So you say 2 over 1 is 2?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's a positive slope. The positive slope.
Okay, so then what the formula then is going to be, it's going to be 8, that's my price, over my quantity of 2, all right, times, then what is the slope then? 2.
No, what you do? You take the change in your price, it's 2 on top.
Yeah. Okay, but I'm talking about the whole formula.
Remember, the slope of the demand is a positive change, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you take the change in the price. The change in the price is 2, from 8 to 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the change in the quantity is 1. So the slope is 2.
Yes.
You see. So you don't take you don't multiply the other one by other one. If you draw the curve, right, and your price is on a vertical axis, am I right?
Yes.
You plot the 8 and you plot the 2.
Yes.
Right. So your price is 8 and your quantity would be 2. Right.
Yes.
Then you plot the price of 10, right, with a quantity of 3, and you can see
3.
Yeah. So then you draw the curve, right?
Yeah.
But the change in price over the change in quantity would give you 2 over 1. That's that slope.
2
Because
over
you're working
1.
the change. Yeah. Because why?
Okay.
The change in quantity is only from 2 to 3. That's 1.
Yes, I understand that. But maybe, yeah, I don't understand how they're writing this, because they say that the slope of the supply curve is 2. I understand that's 2 because 2 divided by 1 is 2. Okay?
Yes.
But when they do the whole formula where you say
Yes.
P price over quantity times 1 over slope, that's the formula that you need.
Okay, so I haven't got it yet, but the formula that they say is what's the formula they use?
Okay, so the price of elasticity of supply basically is the change of quantity divided by quantity over the change of price over divided by price.
Okay, all right. Okay, so now, okay, all right. Now, what's the change? What's the change in quantity?
The change in quantity is 1 from A to B.
1 over 1, but
yes.
It's 1 over 1. That's the formula. Because now, remember, now we're not working specific with the slope. Now we're working with price elasticity.
Yes.
Right? So the change in elasticity is always, like I said, quantity on top, price underneath. Right?
Yes.
So what's the change? The change in the quantity is 2, right? So you write 2 divided by 1, right?
Yes.
Now that is 200%. Because it's always percentage. So it's 200%, right? Underneath the line, you've got change in price, that's also 2, right? Divided by the original price of 10, and that is only 2%.
Chris, can I just help here?
Yes.
Can I please just maybe just to try and help here? When we look at the elasticity, we're looking at the percentage change in quantity divided by the percentage change in price. The formula on page 108, 4.4 is just describing that. It's actually the percentage in your quantity divided by a percentage in price. That's why it is the change in Q divided by Q. I want to clarify that. Yes. And just to understand, because that's a very important thing to understand.
Yes. The change in quantity we all agree is the change in quantity we all agree is 1. Right?
Yeah.
The change in quantity is from 2 to 3. That is 1. Right?
Yeah.
Over the original quantity. The original quantity is 2. Right. So what do we get on top? A half. You get a half. Am I right?
Okay.
Let's again say on top. So we get a half on top. Right. Now a half is 50%. So you have to get the percentage change. So quantity have increased by 50% from 2 to 3. 50%. Right? Now how do you work it out? It is the change in quantity, that's 1 divided by the original quantity, it's 2. Right? So that is a half of 50%.
Okay.
Okay? All right. And underneath the line, we have the change in price, that's 2. Right? Divided by the original price of 8. Sorry, the original price of 8. Right? Yes. So that is 2 over 8. And 2 over 8 is a quarter, and that is 25%.
Okay.
All with me?
Yes.
Okay, so we got 50% on top, 25% on bottom. So that will give me an answer of 2. That will give me the 2. Right? That will give me the 2. Now the 2 means we have a price elasticity coefficient of 2. Right? What does that mean? It means it's bigger than 1. Right? So it is price elastic.
Elasticity.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Now all of you that are listening, now let's look at the revenue. Let's look at the revenue. Right? When the price was 8, how many products did this guy sell? 2, am I right? He sold 2. So what was his revenue?
Yes.
His revenue was 8 times 2. That is 16. He got 16 from his product. Now he increases his price to 10. Right? But now he sells 3. So his revenue is now 30. So his revenue has increased by 18. Right. So his revenue has increased by 18. But this is supply. Remember, we're working now with supply, not with demand. Right. So this guy knows that his price elastic. The elasticity of the elasticity of supply is bigger than 1. We worked it out of 2. So in that sense, it works the same as in the mall. So if I'm a producer and I get 2 rand for my product, I get 8 rand for my product and I sell 2. My total revenue here again will be 16. So I will be better off if the price increased to 3, because then I can sell 10 and it will be 30. Okay. It's not so important, the relationship between profit and revenue with the supply curve. In fact, we almost never ask that or look at that. We rather go to the demand curve, because the demand curve is the reaction of your consumer, your client. That's for you far more important. Okay, so let's just summarize again. Price elasticity of demand or price elasticity of supply. On top of the line, it is the change in quantity divided by the quantity. Are you with me? Underneath the line, it's the change in price over the price. Right.
Okay.
If it's demand or supply, it doesn't matter. It's the same formula that you use.
All right. Thank you. I understand it now. Thank you, Dr. Chris.
Exactly the same. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Does everyone understand the margin utility concept? Russell, do you understand the margin utility concept?
I think I do.
Yes, yes. You will just get the table. I made it quite easy for you. I think I asked margin, I gave in the table already the margin utilities. Am I right? If you go and look at your assignment. But normally what happens in questions or in textbooks, people only give total utility. Then you first have to work out margin utility. Margin utility is only the change in utility. Right? And price you always will have. And then you work out change in price. And when it's equal, margin utility of product A over the price of A equal to the margin utility of B over the price of B, that's the amount of products A and B that the person will buy given his budget. And this is how we do it every day. This is how we do it every day. If you at the end of the month buying your groceries, what do? You say, all right, this is my budget. I only have, let's say, 1,000 rands a month, a week. It's 4,000 rands. Okay. Now, normally, what will housewives do? Right. They will set up a list. They will write it down. Okay. What will they write down very first? The product that they need the most. So that product that they write down the most, the margin utility of that product is the highest. They need it the most. So what they will do, they set a list and make sure that it fits in with their budget. And once they have it, they will buy it. Okay, now, some housewives, luckily not my house, but not my wife, if they have the husband's credit card, and then they just buy. Right, so then they become irrational. They don't think about what is going to cost them. But your rational consumer will always say, this is my budget, and within my budget, this is what I can buy. I will always buy that product which will give the biggest level of satisfaction first. So the marginal utility, so the extra utility in buying that product that month will be the highest. Okay. Of course, you always bring the price in. Sometimes children don't understand that they can't get that 4,000 Rand cricket bat this year or this month, right? Because the price are just so that it's outside your budget. So that's a rational consumer. A rational consumer always will net up the level of satisfaction by buying an extra product, that's called marginal utility, against the price of that product. And he will divide it amongst his budget on all the products he wants to buy. And that's why in a lot of cases, if you want to buy a new product, first thing you ask is your friends, or you go into the Google and you say, where can I get, in inverted commas, a bargain? What do you need? You need the same product, which will give you a utility, and if you can get it at a lower price, it means that you will tend to buy that product. Because your marginal utility divided by the price is now higher. Why? You can get the bargain. Okay. And this is why they use things like sales in any marketing. They use the price elasticity, and they use the want, the marginal utility. Everyone wants that product. Okay. Everyone wanted Bitcoin. Right? And Bitcoin went from $600 to $20,000. Right. Now suddenly, Bitcoin, there's a bit of sentiment against that. Right. So people are not so confident in Bitcoin. So the increase in the demand for Bitcoin giving utility is not that big anymore. And now suddenly the price is starting to drop. Right. Due to the fact that people's extra utility in buying extra Bitcoin is not that high anymore, because there's a lot of rumors going in the market that this thing is going to crash. So they'd rather stay out of the market. So you can have a lot of markets where where sellers are using marginal utility concept without knowing that is a concept that they use. And that's the idea of this course, especially on a micro side. Okay. Any other questions?
Prof, I just wanted to make sure in the assignment, there's a question about the travelers, the business traveler and the leisure travelers. The
Yes.
Calculate the revenue for each business traveler and each vacationer. Is it meant to be for each individual, or do you want the total revenue for the leisure travelers and the total revenue for the vacationers?
No, look, there's a table on the right.
Yes.
Okay, so what you do, you take the price of the ticket, right? You take the price and you multiply it with the amount of tickets, the total amount of tickets that they sold to the business traveler. And that's its revenue. This is the revenue that the airline will receive from selling all the tickets. If you look there, I have it now, thank you. If you look at just want to get there. To get down here.
It's number 3.
It's number 4.
3.
Number 4, isn't it? No, it's 4. Yeah, sorry. No, that's number 2. Look at when the price was 150, okay? If the price is $150, right? What will be the quantity demand of the business travelers? They will demand in total, not per traveler, in total. They will demand 2,100. So you multiply 2,100, right, by 150. Because remember, this is the price for each business traveler. Quantity demand is 2,100. Now they ask, calculate and explain what change in revenue for each business traveler and each vacationer will be. Right, so what do you have to do? Right. The quantity demand for each business traveler. Now you have to work it only out for one traveler. Okay? So that's the quantity demand. For each business traveler and each vacationer will be at Y. Right? So what is one business traveler going to pay for ticket? And it's the first.
Yeah. Yes. I just wanted to clarify that.
And the vacationer is going to pay $1,000. He's going to pay $150. Right. So now we see a change. A change when the price changed. The price changed from 200 to 250. Right? Price changed from 200 to 250. Right. Now, the quantity demand for business travelers decreased by 100. Right? Right? Now, that each business traveler is not the business traveler itself. It is all the business travelers. Right? That revenue for each means what is the revenue for business travelers and each vacationer. So you have to take what is the change? What is the change in the quantity demand? It dropped from 2,000 to 1,900. Right? It is 100. Right? Am I right? So now you have to go and work out what was the revenue before and what was the revenue afterwards. For quantity demand for travelers and vacations. Now you use the total. You have to use the total. Right? You have to use the total. Or else the question, won't make sense. No, it will. It still will make sense. It still will make sense. Just go and work out the difference in revenue. No, you have to use both of them. You have to use the total. Fine. So everybody with me, if it's 200, the price. How many business travelers will they sell? Tickets. 2,000, am I right? Okay, can everyone see? The price is 200. The quantity demand for business travelers will be how much? 2,000, am I right? Okay, according to the table. Right, so what will be the revenue? Right, 2 times 2 is 400,000. That's the revenue, 400,000. Right? The quantity demand for vacationers will be 800 times 200. That is 160,000. Right? Now there is a change. Now you have to go and work out the new revenue and compare it to each other. Right? I'm not going to give you the total answer, but everyone with me. Right? Right? Maybe I should have excluded the word each.
Yeah, that's. I understand how to calculate the total revenue. It was just the word each.
Yeah, No, you have to work out because for each it's not going to. Well, it will be. It will make a difference. Okay, let's take it for one. Right, one would be if for one traveler will pay as vacationer will pay 200. All right, for the ticket.
Yes.
When it's $200 and when it's $200, you will pay 200. The other guy will pay. Both will pay 200. You see, and then both will pay 250. So if you work it out for each one, there won't be a change in the revenue because per guy it will stay the same, but not for the total. So it basically should have been the total. So Zinge, you're still there.
Thank you.
No, you have to work out the total, okay? You have to work out the total. No, you have to work out the total.
Because I read the question.
Price times quantity. But no, we're not going to change the question.
Okay.
Because for each business traveler, okay. Okay, each business traveler, do you think there would be a change? I've asked the question now like that. I see it now for the first time. Will there be a change in their revenue? Because it's 200, right? Times 1. That's 200. Now it would be 250 times 1 is 250. Right. Will there be a change in revenue? Yes, of course there will be a change in revenue for each traveler. So do both. But the question is each business traveler and each vacationer.
Okay.
Right. The revenue is not the same. The revenue will change. So in other words, it's 1 times 200, again it's 1 times 250.
Perfect. Thank you, Doctor.
All right. Okay. So you have to there's a difference between a total, right? There's a difference between a total and a single traveler, right? Now, a single traveler, you work 1 times 200 and 1 times 250. That's the change. So it's 1 times 50 and 1 times 50. Now you can get to what I'm trying to tell you here. Right, I can't give you the whole answer, but please work it out for 1 traveler. Work it out for 1 traveler. What happened with the change in revenue of the traveler? Is 1 ticket or not? Okay. Let's work out for 1. And you see if there's a change, why not? Right. It might be confusing now. It might be now confusing now, but I don't want to give away our answer. Okay. So we didn't ask for all the travelers and all the vacations. We only asked it for 1. Right. How did the revenue change for the airline for each traveler? Each traveler. Right. It's just 1 times the price, and you get the revenue and then the new revenue for both, and then you compare it. Okay. Maybe I should have first asked the total and then for 1 traveler.
And we still do both.
Sorry?
And we still give you both.
Yes, there is a difference. There is a difference. There's definitely a difference because for everyone, you take the 800 or 1,000 times the price of a ticket, and then you get the revenue before and after, and you compare it. But then for 1 traveler, it is easy. It's 1 times the old price and 1 times the new price.
Sorry, Laverne.
Yes.
I think he's saying you don't do it for both. You do it for 1. However, you may be asked to do for both, or for all of them. So in this case, the question is actually asking for each person, so 1 person, but the question may be posed for all. In this case, it's for 1 person.
That's it, Rachel. That's it.
Okay.
So there's a reason why you asked the why. There's a reason why I asked the why. Because there's a difference in the revenue which the airlines get from 1 passenger and from which they get from all the passengers. If you compare vacationers with business travelers. Okay. Right.
Dr. Chris,
just work it out for 1. Yes. Yes.
Would use these concepts in day-to-day
Cindy, can you put that questions on the back again?
I would suggest that you type your question because there's a lot of, we can't hear the question. So you can just go in chat and type it in. We'll be able to see the question.
What must I say? Type?
No. I'm saying the person was asking a question. I cannot, it's breaking up. So we can just type the question.
But Cindy, can you put that questions on again?
Oh, you want me to put up the questions? No problem, sir.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Right, again, I just want to make that thing clear. And Russell was right. If the question is, calculate, explain what a change in revenue for business travelers and vacationers will be. then you take the total. Right, then you take the total, you multiply 2,000 with 200, and you get the revenue for business travelers. And you take the 800 and times it by 200, and you get the revenue for vacationers. Then you take the 1,900 and you multiply it by 2,500, then you get change in the revenue for business travelers. You take the 600, you multiply it by the 250, then you get the change in revenue for the travelers. Right? Sorry, for the vacations. And then you compare it with each other. But now, this question is a bit more. What if it's only for one? Where will there now be a change? Right, the same concept. It is quantity times price. In this case, it's one. It's only one for one. And then you get the answer, and you can tell me why not. That's what I think. That is what you suggest, and that's exactly what the question is about.
Prof,
Yes.
Dr. Chris, a quick question from Mahe. Mahe is asking about the application of the concepts in day-to-day business administration. She's asking whether these concepts are applicable in daily operations, and if so, how?
The daily application is if you know what happens, if you know your price elasticity, and if you know what happens with the demand for your product if you change your price. Right. The daily application is those products which have a price elasticity bigger than 1. Right, price elasticity. Those products you will put on a sale. You will advertise. Because what's going to happen? You're going to lower your price by 5%, but the quantity you're going to sell will increase by 10%, so your revenue and your profits will increase. That's the day-to-day application. The product that we know is necessity, people will always buy. Right. You can increase your price. But by increasing your price, let's say by 5%, the quantity demand will only come down by about 1%, and your revenue and your profits also will increase. That's why under monopolistic situations, it's normally when there is price inelasticity. This is normally when it leads to monopolistic forming, or cartel forming, or oligopolist, where companies start to work together so that they can share what we call abnormal profit. Now, abnormal profit we're going to deal with next week from the supply side. How do you make abnormal profit? And how can you use the concepts of demand and revenue to increase your abnormal profit? Now, abnormal profit is when your income is higher than your total variable cost. Right. Now, always in a total variable cost, your total cost, you increase your fixed cost, your total cost, your fixed cost, as well as your variable cost. Fixed cost is your equipment, your electricity, all those fixed costs that you have. If you produce one product, if you produce 1,000 products, your plant and machinery will be the same. That's your fixed cost. Your variable cost, is your electricity. The higher you produce, the more electricity you will pay, the more input costs you will pay on your salaries, wages, and other materials. That's your variable cost. But you at least have to cover your total cost, your total revenue. Now you know that if your price for your extra product that you spend on is exactly equal to the extra cost, right? That's your break-even point. At that point, you make a normal profit, because in your cost there's always a markup. It's 5 or 10% profit. Now, if you know that you can put the product on sale, like this airway tickets, if it's out of season, the price elasticity will be bigger than 1. Why? Because out of season, there's not a lot of people traveling. So out of season, Mango, South African Airways, and all British Airways through Comair always will put tickets on for sale. Why? Because they know if they drop their quantity, so the price, the quantity normally out of season will increase and they can increase their revenue. In top season, In top season, they know that the price elasticity of demand is smaller than 1. Everyone wants to get on an aeroplane and drive all the way down to Cape Town. Then they increase the price. So if you want to buy a ticket the day before Christmas, and if you want to buy a ticket for Cape Town tomorrow, the price may be doubled due to the price elasticity of demand. Right. It also has to do, of course, with the substitutes that you have. I flew down to Bloemfontein on Friday. Now, to Bloemfontein on Friday, you can only buy a ticket through Air Express, South African Airways. Guess what it cost me to fly down to Bloemfontein and back on Friday? Can you believe it? 3,800 rands. I could have gone down to Cape Town myself and my wife for less than that price. We could have gone down to for 3,200 for both of us. Why? There are no competition down to Bloemfontein at this stage. So the price is high. The price is high. Because of the thin market, the price elasticity for people that want to go to Bloemfontein, they haven't got a choice. They have to buy a ticket. It's smaller than 1, so they just increase the price. So this is where we use that. Right. That's why in economics, always, the micro side, students don't like. Because the micro side, demand, supply, elasticity, marginal costs, all the costs, it's not easy. It's not the thing that you apply necessarily every day. And it's not that students always love the microeconomic side. When you walk in that lecture hall on Saturday, it's going to be a different story. Because then you're going to do macroeconomics. Now that's the stuff that we read every day. Right? Yesterday, South Africa retail sales went up by 5%. Zuma got fired. Right? Biggest international sentiment that the South African economy will grow now stronger. What happened to our share prices today? It went up by almost 4%. What happened with the rand? The rand strengthened today to 12.60 rand. Because of that, we're going to pay more or less 30 cents for petrol less and 35 cents per petrol less for diesel in the beginning of March. Those are all things that we see and we hear over the television and the radio, and that's applicable every day. Microeconomics, not in that sense. But if you're a manager, you have to use microeconomic concepts. The price elasticity of demand and your cost. Because it's sales and cost. Everything is about sales on the one side, right? Total revenue, and cost on the other side, total cost. Because that will do profit. The idea of microeconomics is to build up a small model on the revenue side, that's the demand, and on the cost side, that's the supply. That students can grapple with these concepts of margin utility, price elasticity of demand, on one side, and revenue, and the other side, giving cost. Now, I just want to tell all the students that we basically should have that supply on Saturday, right? But I've spoken to Zingi, and because it's so important now before the budget that we do the macroeconomic side. And because we don't have enough time after the third contact session or the fifth, we rather decide to have a session on macroeconomics on Saturday, so that on the 5th week I will finish with the microeconomics. Right. So Saturday is going to be a very interesting lecture. Saturday we're going to talk to the things that will be in the news in at least the next month or two. We're going to talk about government expenditure. We're going to talk about inflation and unemployment. And I'm going to take you to the lab. We are going to show you where you can get the data. Then you guys are going to draw for me some graphs from Excel spreadsheets for the week after that. And that will be the interesting part. Okay, Zinga?
Yep.
This was our long explanation. But from the beginning, I hope that students from last week's lecture can see the benefit of microeconomics from a management perspective. Any other questions? How was multiple? How was the multiple quiz?
Sound was a bit bad.
I think the problem with the quiz question is that you guys will have to read through the chapter very thoroughly before you answer the question. Again, now you have to know exactly elasticity, different formulas. You have to know exactly demand. For next week, you have to know exactly what's meant by economic growth, employment, and inflation. And because the question is about that, if we talk about real domestic product against nominal domestic product, what are the difference, and how does one calculate the difference? Now for that, we're going to the lab. Right, I'm busy comparing, I think, a very nice lab session where we're going to do practical in the class, where we're going to lock into the various macroeconomic sources that one can get, the Reserve Bank and Stats SA. And then I'm going to show you guys how to load it down on an Excel spreadsheet and draw curves so that we can make some arguments of what's happening on the macroeconomic side for South Africa. The whole idea, again, out of a management perspective, a lot of managers always will ask to write a report where they will have to include some or other macroeconomic variable. Let's say, for instance, unemployment and inflation. My whole idea was just to show students in the MBA level where you can get the data and how you can use it. That's the idea of Saturday's class.
Chris, you were asking about the questionnaire. If I just make a comment from my side, there's not really time to do any calculation and reconfirm your calculation. So in other words, you have to work very quickly, read very quickly, and instantaneous have the answer. Otherwise, you're not going to give feedback on all the questionnaires. It happened with me. I'm reading a bit slower, and I'm trying to read carefully to make sure I'm getting the right answers. So if I can say something with regards to that, I'll say time is really limited. And I think, okay, I have other reasons also why it was more difficult, but it's fine. At the end of the day, it's going about the time you have to provide feedback. If you want to do calculations and confirm, there's no time for that. Okay.
Now, I've spoken to Zingi, and we say, all right, this is a postgraduate level. But I've listened. A few other Zingi have phoned me as well. So maybe I will make the decision to adhere to the request and increase it to 45 seconds. I was not 30. I think you got 30 or a minute. I think you got a minute. Zingi, what was it? A minute?
Yes, it's a minute, sir.
Was it a minute?
Yes, it's a minute, sir.
60 seconds.
60 seconds, yes.
Okay, now a few students got the same problem. So I think I will adhere to that, and then you have to change it to 90 seconds.
All right,
Let's
sir.
change it to 90. Change it to 90 seconds. Okay, satisfied?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. I'm already changing it as we speak.
We'll do that because you're going to do it this week and next week.
Yes, sir.
Right, next week next week, I think we should have again a discussion. It's after the budget, but I think we can have then a discussion on the practical questions that you'll have to do for a week after next week. But we will have a discussion on the questions for next week, the end of week 3. That would be on the macroeconomic side, and that's very questions that we know in everyday life: economic growth, inflation, unemployment. It shouldn't be that difficult. So it means that this week's questions will be 30 questions in 45 minutes. Am I right, Zingis? Yeah. No.
It's 20 questions in 30 minutes.
It's 20 questions.
Yes, 20
you only will get 20 questions, not 30. You will only get 20 questions in 90 seconds per question. Right. It will be 20 questions, 90 seconds per question.
Yes,
right?
Sir.
And then also you get practical questions. Okay. All right. So it's 20 questions. 30 minutes, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay, Russell, is that better?
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Right. Okay. Right. And I don't think that practical questions or the problems were that difficult. I don't think it's that difficult. Right. Okay, so I'll see you guys on Saturday. Any other questions?
Doc, just a quick one.
Yes.
Another reminder that people should use the smart book and the practice questions.
Yes. It will help you because it is it's helpful, and it shows you the importance in each paragraph. The importance each paragraph. Now I also asked Zingi to send the slides beforehand.
Yes, sir.
That you already will have it on Saturday for chapters 15, 16, and 17.
Yes, they'll be sent tomorrow, sir.
Yes. So you will have it on Saturday, because we're going to do economic growth, inflation, and unemployment in the first hour and a half. It's about a half an hour in chapter. It's not long, and it's not that difficult. So we will deal with that slide. I'm not going to show all the slides. I'm going to hide a lot of the slides. I'm just going to do the essence, so that everyone have a background on growth, unemployment, and inflation. All right. Once we're there, then we can go to the lab, and then I'm going to show you where you can get the data for South Africa's GDP, economic activity, inflation, and unemployment, and what happened with those aggregates over the last 10 years, or for that matter, 20 years, on a quarterly basis and on an annual basis. And then you will be able to answer some questions that you have to go and apply it yourself to the data. I think this is for me in the course, that should be the most exciting thing. Yes, and again, thank you.
No problem, sir.
Okay. There's a question. The smart book on Google Store. There's so many apps. Which one should they get? But isn't the smart book the one that they get from book itself?
Yes.
Yeah,
can I just quickly just share my screen so I can just show everyone where to quickly go again? Just as a quick one. Sorry. I think I'm back in. So there's this Learn Smart tab. If everyone can see it. You click on the Learn Smart tab. before it shows you all the chapters, it's going to give you a little mini tutorial. So it can just show you the 2-3 minute tutorial showing you how Learn Smart works. And then you'll be able now to go into the chapters like elasticity. And okay, let me preview as a student. It's loading.
Yes, that's the smart book.
Yes, it's loading itself. Just a second. Just loading for a second. And then let me get into the chapter elasticity. 1 second.
That's it.
And then you can notice if this is turned on, you can actually start practicing the questions. It will ask you.
Yes. Yes.
So there's this lady who's there who's going to help you go through everything. Either you know it. So if the price of wine is
wine is 1, then the demand for 1 would be unit elastic. So you click on unit elastic, you're right. But if you click elastic, then she will say no, it's wrong. Right, it's wrong. Then you say okay, then you try again. Think so? Try that to go down, and that's the correct one. You see, buy surplus, right? Total expenditure equals, you all know it's price times. Total expenditure equals, we all know it's price times the quantity that you spend on. You know? Yes. Right, so that's correct. You know, so you can test yourself. And maybe you should test yourself before you write the quiz, before you do the quiz. All right, Jimmy? I think that's the best.
Yes, sir. Yes, I agree with you.
Test yourself before you do the quiz, then it will help you. There's income elasticity. There's your price elasticity of demand. They have everything there.
Yes, sir. All right.
I think that's the way to do it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is a great help. 20 years ago, we didn't have all these help, right? Okay.
All right, guys. Everyone happy?
Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday, eh?
All good. Thanks very much.
Ask me where I am tomorrow.
Where are you tomorrow?
Kimberley.
No, at the cricket.
Well, enjoy.
I'm going to shout for the Proteas anyway. So. Okay, people. Saturday.
Thanks, eh?
Thank you, Doctor.
Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.